GitHub, everything, you can find me. So to make it things easier, I'm going to make an analogy between continuous delivery to the pub, to the bar, right? How do we organize ourselves as a group to go to a bar, right? So essentially, yeah, something that relates to your life, right?
It's about time to go to pub.
Not yet. So essentially, what happens? You send out an email saying, "Hey guys, who's up for a drink tonight?" Right? You send an email. A few minutes later, someone replies, "I'm in," and then suddenly you have a crowd, right? We have already 6 saying that they want to join. And then we have someone else saying, "Yeah, if you just wait 5 minutes, I can join later. Can you wait?" And then another guy, "Oh no, I'm gonna need at least half an hour more. You guys go ahead and I find you at the bar." 5 minutes later, what happens?
You're still waiting. Everybody's at their best.
Everyone is around. The guy that said, "Okay, just 5 minutes," and the guy is like, "Oh, sorry, I need more time." we all have been there, right? So the guy that said, "I need half an hour," he's saying, "Okay, if you wait for me, I will come as well." So it's already more than 5 minutes late. And we have another one now. We have this guy saying, "I'm nearly done. Wait for me." By this time, we have about half an hour has passed, and then we have 6 people ready to go drinking, and they're all waiting for people. So now finally our colleague number 7 finished his job and is ready to join. So now we have 7, and now everyone is around waiting for the latecomer. Right. A few more minutes later, the last guy says, "Okay, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's get this done." And then someone said, "Oh shit, I forgot to send an email." And then someone goes to the toilet. People start getting distracted. Then number 5 comes back, and the guy who sent the email saying, "Let's go out for drinking," is already, "Okay, I'm tired of this shit." Okay, 1 hour and 15 minutes later, they go take the lift. But the lift cannot fit everyone, right? So they have to split. Again, they go to the taxi queue on only one taxi. So, and they need at least 3. So they have to wait, and they want to go together, right? They are a group, they are a team. So when they finally arrive at the bar is closed. What a bad day, right? So number 3 is already complaining and said that he has to go home to feed his cat. And it's 9:30, everyone is thirsty. All of the bars are really full and they cannot do anything else other than just go home unhappy and thirsty. Familiar, right? We all have been to this situation in a way or another. So now, same problem, going to the bar, but applying continuous delivery principles. Let's see how it works. So same start, everyone says, "Oh, I'm in," and they realize that they can all fit in a taxi, so they go ahead. And then those guys, they ask, "Okay, who's next? Who can join us to share the cab?" And the guy said the same thing, just waited 5 minutes. And number 8 says the same thing, at least half an hour. So the first group at this time already arrive at the bar. They see the bar is closed. It's fine. It's still early, so they can still find another venue to go, right? In the meantime, at the office, the others are still getting together, and they decide to share a taxi, only the 3 of them. But when they're on the way out, number 8 is saying, "Okay, just wait for me. I'm nearly done." And number 9 says the same thing, but he also says, "Oh, you guys go ahead." And I split the taxi with number 8, colleague number 8. So right now we already have 4 colleagues enjoying their lives at the bar. And they only knew that only these people were coming. And then these people, they come with more information saying, "Okay, number 8 and 9 are coming. Let's make some room for them." So they adapt and they increase the table. So this is continuous delivery. No, everyone is happy, drinking, partying. This is me, by the way. Remember the session this morning I said about partying less in Hong Kong. So this doesn't happen anymore. You don't see me with this face. Okay. Okay. So back to the software word. So applying this to software, right? So same question of the here. Are you one of the thirsty workers that could go to the bar but still waiting for everyone to join? Same question in a project software. Do we have working pieces of code ready to deploy, but we're still waiting for other teams? Are we still waiting for security team, for deployment team? Right. Is a group of workers so big that whenever you go to a bar, if the bar is closed, it's difficult to find a new space because the group is too big? So maybe, maybe the changes you're trying to deploy, they are too big, right? So when something unexpected happens, you have to resync everyone back and to try again. It's a waste of time, right? So do the bars close, or they are already busy before the thirsty workers get time to organize themselves to go out of the office? Are we losing opportunity windows getting all the teams together to sync for the release? Open questions, right? Suggestions. We can find a bar that is not too far from the office, so we can just sneak out and see, okay, wait, is it open? Just have an agreement that every evening, if someone is thirsty, just go to the bar, and then if you're thirsty as well, you just join, rather than organizing an official outing. Any other alternatives? Stephen, do you have an idea that we could go for this? No?
Even better if that is right next to the person, then drink whenever he wants to.
So you say drink in the office.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can drink at the bar, you can work at the bar, work at the pub. Right. So that's a possibility. So how continuous delivery relates to like real things in practice? So here we're going to go over the software craftsmanship. I'm sure most of you have seen something like this before, right? This is based on the Agile Manifesto. So they want not only the working software, but well designed, well built software. We don't want to just respond to change, but we also want to steadily add value. And not only like the interactions and the individuals, but build a community, right? Have like sessions of practice like dojos, or come to communities like this, Agile, Hong Kong Codeaholics, which I'm part of. And not only collaboration, but also a productive partnership. Okay, I should be going slide by slide. So this one is quite important, the main topic of the talks, where we are steadily adding value. That's when we are achieving continuous delivery. And as a community, we give back what we learn and what we know. Exactly what we are doing here, right? So some core practice to achieve a continuous stream of delivery of work, continuous delivery. The first of it is PDD. I think you mentioned about it this morning, I'm not sure. Yes. So behavior-driven development. Does anyone know what is this about?
To write the customer need in such human, I mean human readable tests.
Okay.
Generate the test case. The specification is written in a language English, for example, and we generate the test case from those. So this means that the customer can write the requirements in his own language, can after translate the computer or IT work.
So you're saying same language that everyone understands,
Yes, exactly.
Programmer
In English.
and plain English, or any language that
Yeah.
you're speaking.
Put the user at the core, right? That's, you're putting your user of the system where they're building as the main customer.
Yes,
And then-
like I was saying, it's a common language to talk to your business, to your customer. So you always speak English, let's say.
So the more traditional way of doing things is like someone write up the requirement specification, and then the test department people will take that and then translate it into their own test cases and so on. So this causes a huge confusion between departments and handoff and so on. And with BDD, we try to close this gap, and the developers, the tester, they are speaking on the same thing, and preferably the same document, and less gap between the understanding.
Yeah. So actually, one of the main aims behind the implementation of BDD as like a tool in the software industry, the creator of JBehave, Dan Arp. So he told me that one of the main reasons to use the BDD approach is that because he was working a client and he had no idea about the terms they were using, the language they were using, and then he had to use this approach of using plain English so he could understand what they want. Because the user was like so technical that they couldn't understand what they were talking about. So that's something that Dan Arp told me.
Over there, there's
Sorry. So are you saying that BDD is a type of test-driven development, or it's not really?
No, you don't necessarily need to write your BDD first, your specification. This is called ATDD, when you write the acceptance test before anything else. BDD is a practice on its own, right? Not necessarily writing before everything else. So people love tools, right? So the first thing when you mention about behavior development, you say, oh, I know about Cucumber, right? Shut up, it's not about tools, right? It's about people and writing user stories. So a common thing that people, business people say, they are very high level, they would say, I just want to save 40% on operational costs. Okay, and then? What's the value? So for that node, a user story has to be a description of a requirement and its business benefit, and a set of criteria by which we all agree that it's done. Okay, so this is the example of a user story, a real life one. So here we have a story title, like it's quite simple, account holder withdraws cash. So as an account holder, I want to withdraw cash from an ATM so that I can get money when a bank is closed. And then here we have an acceptance criteria to validate when this is done. Right, so 3 parts: title, a narrative, and a given when then format acceptance criteria. You can write a story in a different way, but the recommended way for BDD is this for a reason. Because when you write your acceptance criteria in this format, it makes it easier to automate. Right. If you use it to like Cucumber or JBehave. Does anyone here write user stories like this?
so that yeah.
I like to come to business very
Yeah. So we also have one of the core practice for achieving continuous delivery is also TDD. You also mentioned this morning, I guess, right? So TDD is, yes, where you write the test first, but it's actually more than that. You design your solution before writing the code. You can combine that with BDD and have what they call ATDD, which is acceptance test driven development, where you write this kind of thing before, let's say in Cucumber, and then you start from the outside, you have this to validate the criteria, right? And then you start building unit tests, functional tests, any other kind of test you need, and the code to achieve this stage. I have worked only once in a project where we did ATDD. It was quite interesting experience. Like, so usually pairing with a QA to get a developer and a QA working together to start writing and automating this bit of the test case. So back to DDD. Practices within DDD. So here, the main thing is that we're defining the API of the class that we want to use, right? So we are going in baby steps, writing just enough code to make the test pass. And we write this based on facts. So if you have a user story, you have acceptance criteria, right? So we have facts that we can code against, right? And also, with TDD and BDD, you can always easily read the tests to learn what's going on in the code. Just other practices on TDD, we write the assertion first. So we say, we assert that, let's say, the earth is round, is true, right? So we write that first, and then we write the code to validate that assertion. One assertion per test. I know many people like to do a bunch of assertions to save time, but then it becomes a bit more difficult to understand the test case if you're completely new to the code base. So try to have, I would say, one assertion per test. And then we have practices of faking, stubbing, and mocking. Because when you apply TDD, you're working usually at unit test level. So you're only interested in testing one class. You don't care about everything else. So you can fake it, you can stub it, or you can mock it. You want to say something?
No.
Okay. So together, also we have triangulation, which is something you use in last case. Let's say you are writing a test and you have no idea how to start. So you start triangulating. So you try something here, you try something here, okay, it doesn't work. So you keep triangulating until you reach the final test case. The usual red-green refactor cycle when you're doing TDD. So you write a test that fails because there is no code to validate that. Then you write just enough code to make it green, so the test passes. And then refactor and keep this cycle. Right. When you're doing pair programming, this is one way of like having fun, because it can, let's say, have him writing the test code, and then I write the code, and then we change and refactor together.
Yeah, so the one way to do it is to call what we call the ping pong programming. I write a failing test, Pedro make it pass, refactor together, and then he write another failing test, and then I make it pass, and then we refactor.
And also, this is also code review in real time, right?
Yes.
Okay, some diagrams, because people like diagrams, right? So, the more tests you write, less bugs, and you build more trust in your code, leading to more quality. Yay. More tests you have, you lower your cost to maintain that software, and you have less pressure to add new features or less pressure to deliver. So you're more productive. So only benefits, there is no side effects. Another one is pair programming. So as you can see, is about sitting together and working exactly on the same thing together. So there are different setups. You can even remote pair programming. It's a bit more difficult, but you can, if you're using the right tools and interfaces to program. You can also sometimes do in trio, right? And or in groups. I forgot the name, but there is one person in the Agile community.
Woody Sui.
Yeah, he talks a lot about mob programming, getting everyone in a room and code together. I don't know how that works, but it's something I would like to try.
There is a video, he put it online. So a time-lapse video and how that works. So get a room like this, have a projector, connect to the computer, so a few people pay on it, and then they take turns to write code, and some other people also understand the scenarios together, and then also help with, because they can see the code, so they can actually help with what to type with the code.
Okay, so it's not much different from this. This is a picture I took when I was working at ThoughtWorks. Sometimes we would get together like this to solve a problem, but only like in specific situations, not in.
Would it be a case that more programmer produce more bugs?
The more programmer.
Why do you think so?
Because programmer has their own opinions for some structure or concept, and they may change something and break something.
In that case, I would really suggest you having a room, only one computer, because everyone is looking at the code, and the important thing is the shared understanding among the group of people, so that we understand the intention, why he write it this way, and that's why I won't break it.
Yeah.
So one question from me.
Yeah.
So I have a team who doesn't believe in writing test cases.
Okay.
So how do I convince them? I am 100% convinced that we should write, but I have one team who believes that it's waste of time.
Okay, so this question is more about coaching rather than the practice. Did you attend the talk I gave this morning?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so you have to work in the liminal space.
Yeah.
You have to work
But
with
now
their
the
needs.
situation is like I have convinced some team members that by giving the example of my implementation, now they're convinced, but still not everybody is convinced.
Okay, my own experience on this, I work with people that didn't want to write in a test, not even after writing the code. So what we introduced was mandatory pairing. So let's say I was pairing with you and I don't want to write in a test. So I don't mind, I write in a test first and then you make it pass. And then we have to swap roles at some point. So I'm not gonna code if you don't write the test. And then you don't wanna look bad for your manager, right? So that's what we have done in the past. When I was working as a consultant for a client and the client didn't want to do it in a test.
Okay.
I'm not sure it's gonna work for you, but they're different.
Good, right?
Yeah.
There could be quite many reasons why people don't want to write tests. Not taking responsibility could be one of the reasons, and why they want to take up such responsibility.
But they are ready to solve the bugs rather than writing test cases.
This very same example I just said, I took this picture. We had this pair stairs, so we ensure that everyone is pairing with everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is from the same example. Cool. Yeah. So we are tracking like how many pairings you were done and which ones are missing.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Let's say you have some PO programmers who don't go together very well, right? So they have some issues working together on some piece of code, right? What do you do in this situation?
Yeah, we also experienced this kind of situation where some person doesn't like to pair. So what happened in this case is that we communicate to their managers and senior managers, and eventually we identify that person doesn't work to collaborate. So it's either that person leaves, or we can all accept that person in the team.
What if it doesn't work on the one peer, right? So let's say just two particular people do not go well together, right? Maybe with other people, this person
Okay.
will go well.
Well, then it's not a question about the practice of
Yeah, but
pair
you
programming.
thought that you rotated,
Yes.
Mm.
So in that case, it's very delicate. Again, it goes back to the topic of this morning, working the liminal space and identifying the needs and trying to make a delight loop out of it. It's difficult.
There are quite many reasons so many different reasons why two people don't want to pair with each other. And it's pretty hard to answer this question without understanding why. Maybe these two people shouldn't join the same team at all. And once I worked with a team where two programmers, one broke up with a girlfriend and the girlfriend happened to be, the girl happened to have a new boyfriend in the same team.
Wow.
It may be better they join separate teams. Yeah.
Why? Good reasons to do why. There are a few research on this saying that you actually end up saving money. It's not because you have two persons working on the same thing that you're gonna spend double of the amount. Actually, you're gonna have less bugs, so improve the quality. And it's nicer to work with people, right? I always enjoy pairing. Like in my experience, I paired, like I would say at least 90% of the time I was pairing when coding. And if I work alone, I think it's boring, yeah, when coding. And learning, right? You pair not only like senior people, but senior with junior, juniors with juniors, so you all learn from each other. And it's good for team building and communication. So recapping, in order to achieve continuous delivery, we need to have a focus on the craftsmanship and PDD, pair programming, and TDD. And those two books, this is the Bible from continuous delivery, Jazz Campbell and David Farley. And this one is more like a novel. I'm not sure. You mentioned this morning?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
This is the book I gave out this morning.
Oh, okay. That's a nice one. Yeah, I like. It's very easy to read. Yeah. So
And Jazz Humble and they wrote a new one, this one, which we are going to give out in this session. I will let you decide.
okay. So let's see. Yeah. So this summarizes the session. So again, sorry, this was a very impromptu session, but I hope you learned something.
We have some questions.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that you had one experience with acceptance test DD.
Yes.
You didn't say if it was good or bad. You just said it was interesting.
No, it was, I would say, mostly on the good side. The only, let's say, bad thing is that the client, he was a bit angry sometimes because we were asking for too much of his time to work together on the stories and acceptance criteria. But other than that, it's not because of the ATD itself, it was because of the client.
So the client was the only business stakeholder?
The client was someone like very high level in the business, so I have no idea. And she didn't want to know anything about programming or anything, but we have to bring her close, otherwise we wouldn't do anything. So in this case, there was sometimes she would just, pretend she's not available or pretend she's on holiday just not to talk to us. So it was something else. The problem wasn't not ATD, it was the communication with the client.
And how long was that line?
It was about 6 months. Yeah. At the end, of course, after everything we went through together, she was happy with the results, but in between she was a bit impatient. Yeah.
So how many people in your team apply GED or IT?
Like different teams in different contexts. Like ATD only once, but TDD 100% of the time.
100%?
Yes. Oh, very few situations that we don't apply TDD. Let's say you want to try a new technology, you want to try a new API, so you just play around first. But then once you get understanding of that, then you can use TDD.
Excuse me. So you said that you have 100% of your developer using TDD every day?
In my previous projects, yes.
I was about how can you do that? How could you do that? How you convince people to use TDD? Because most of the time, the challenge I have is when I explain people about TDD, people say, wow, it seems good. But tomorrow they're doing this the old way. Yeah. Here's my goal. Okay.
Yes, it's not always easy, right? Like I said, sometimes you have to just use brute force and start doing TDD, and you have to include the person, otherwise the person has to leave, right? I just happen to work in this kind of an environment that the person is not collaborating. We can always raise to that boss and say that person doesn't want to learn, doesn't want to use a TDD. So what are we gonna do about it? Either that person has to force it themselves to learn, or they get fired.
So your boss always understands what TDD is.
Well, I was working for like ThoughtWorks and other big consulting firms. So
Do you think it's a little bit against Agile? Because people don't have freedom to choose their own way of working? Because individual.
okay, in that circumstance, the client is hiring, let's say, ThoughtWorks, and they come with this set of principles to apply. If they are walking away, they're going to step away, right? So that was the context. Of course, you have different contexts, and you have to leverage. But of course, some people they're doing well without doing TDD, but that's the reality, right?
Yeah.
So in my experience, so these are companies that have some defect problems, and they are looking at ways how they can fix their problems. So this is a pretty good moment for people to reflect what they have been doing. They have been producing bugs. So I'm telling them, so guys, we better come up with some way that stop producing bugs. Then we can explore different possibilities about this.
Will design and work on the test, and at the same time they do the implementation of the code thing of the logic, or is it better to separate into two teams, one team for test plans and the other team for the code thinking for the implementation?
No, I would say the first recommendation, you don't split the work that way, I would say. And if possible, you pair, let's say, a tester with a developer. They work together. Because a tester, they know how to break the code, right? And the developer, they know how to write the code. So if they work together, yes, I have worked with QA and tester. Even though they don't know how to code, they're still able to sit and talk about logic, right? Talk about the testing.
Do you have the slides on the software partnership manifesto?
So we had so many bags, so we started measuring the number of commit to the repository after 8 p.m. And it had good correlation with the number of bugs.
That is funny.
So
right. Okay. So what I want to say is that this is the, if you want to search this is the software craftsmanship manifesto, and written by Uncle Bob Martin, and it was based on his talk in Agile 2009, as far as I remember. The title of his talk is called "Working Software Over Crap." So, so the point, going back to your question, when we are talking about what is software craftsmanship, we deliver well-crafted software, not crap. And that also implies that we should, when we are delivering work, we should have it well tested and it's working well, well-crafted software. So I would not want to separate that and let other people, I will let, if someone wants to check my work, that's certainly okay, but I make sure that it works, it's well-crafted before I let people check my work.
So how do you know that the test plan is complete or it is sufficient at all?
A test plan like that.
Yes.
The acceptance criteria. Yeah, so there is no magic formula, but let's say you're writing user story, you usually add around 3 to 5 acceptance criteria. Maybe if there is more than that, you should look at splitting the user story. So you split the work.
So the QA on the test plan is on the developer as well.
It's for everyone. It's a shared understanding. Like
Everyone in the
everyone is able to read the user story and test because it's a common language.
Yeah, and my quick answer on this. In terms of what is complete, the difficult part is that I don't know what I don't know. So,
Yes, exactly.
so when you have a workshop writing this specification, try to get people from different backgrounds. For example, I'm a developer, we have the product guy here, we have the test guy here, and we all write this together because they think differently from different perspectives, and probably they will identify what I have missed in the scenario.
I've got a question. So, what's the difference in a layman's term between unit tests and TDD? So, I've, like in my past experience, people said, I do unit tests, I don't want to do TDD. Was it the same?
Yeah, you can do unit test without TDD. TDD is a practice of writing the test first, designing test case first.
Okay.
But you can always have just a unit test without TDD.
And what's better?
Writing the test case before.
Well, nothing is better, it's according to your context. But we tend to prefer to use TDD because it forces you to think about the solution before you start coding.
There.
Yeah.
Just to share something about the splitting, and it's about the queuing theory, the queue theory.
Acute.
Yeah, maybe. So I can share one experience from Société Générale. We were doing some development and QA, and we mixed together the two teams. So what happened before? We were doing some development, and after we go to the QA stage, and the QA start to work on it. But because of the different teams, you have different schedules, so you have to wait the guys to do the testing. So as a developer, you are starting something else because you have something to do.
Yeah.
And then the tester find something issue, and they come back to you, and you are in the middle of something else, and you are disturbed and doing and make some multitasking. So we changed that, and QA and developer work together, and it gave smoother development, and it was amazing because the management was not aware about that. And suddenly, because there is some process, they can see someone who ships something, a developer, and just in the same time the QA guys send an email and they say, it is certified. And I have top management coming to us and say, what? They certify in 1 hour? Oh, they did that. Because they work together.
Yeah.
And the test was done together. So it was much more efficient, and we reduced the time about, and this queuing theory is also about this issue.
I have a question about that. It's interesting, and it's an interesting way of working, definitely. So at that time, if you have, for example, two developers, team pair development or pair testing, how do you manage a human factor of not willing to, for example, if the testers and the developers work together, like if the testers is in front of the developer and always find bugs and everything, is it possible at some point that it's actually the two people that is no fit and it takes more time? Can this happen? The same with two developers together if they're like, how do you ping pong development? Like, how do you manage like some like mix matching between developers, and how do you
It's
use
not
the
quite
human
a
factor?
mismatch. If you look at the cost of fixing bugs, the later you find it, the costly it is. So I would rather want someone sitting next to me right at the point that I am entering the bug, telling me this is a bug. Then it's the cheapest time that I can fix it.
Yeah. Like your Perry, you have to constantly explain yourself to the other and say he might not agree of using something, and then I have to convince him, and vice versa. So that way we discuss the design, we double think, we overanalyze, and we make sure that we're not committing a mistake. Right?
So
So my experience with your case is don't let the QC just testing. So try to get the QC write some code as well and do programming with the developer. That is what I did, and in my experience, I already transformed this kind of transformation, 3 different QC, manual QC, to developer. So they start with some unit tests.
Yeah.
And after that, it's like automation tests, and they do some code as well, some simple function, and they can work well together.
Okay, I have a question now back to everyone to win the book. Okay, so in the beginning of the talk, I posted a picture of myself, right? And there was 2 pictures. What was those 2 pictures? Elephant was in the morning, no?
What was it?
There
There
was
was one
one
at the party.
Yeah, the party with
With
the
you
phone.
holding.
No, like
the
they want to introduce myself this morning, saying
Oh, there was-
my name on social media is this, and then I had 2 pictures, right?
One of you
Was
jumping out of something, and one of you with your glasses.
Ice hockey
Ice
And I
hockey
thought,
and
and jumping in the air.
okay, here are the
Yeah.
Remember the ice hockey.
I didn't remember the ice hockey.
Which league do you play in?
Thank you.
Where do you play in?
I practice in Shanshapur, Dragon Center, and I play Mega Box there.
And we
The
make a
league.
box. That's very
Yeah.
very
Okay, so you met on the field.
maybe, I don't know.
No, we are all covered. It's difficult to recognize each other.
Oh, yes.
I have a green helmet.
Okay, I don't remember green helmet.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so thank you. Thank you.